What's good, everybody? You're tuned in to another episode of Off the Yard, and today we're talking about what happens when an inmate gets caught up dipping in two pots, man. Sticky situation. Let's get into it. Man, I cannot begin to describe more oftentimes than not, how many times we as inmates get that Dear John letter. I've done multiple years inside. I've done close to 14 years in prison. And I've had many Dear John letters. I've seen guys through different circumstances have their wives leave them doing a short bid. They might be doing 5 years. That's a short bid in Department of Correction. You know, a woman is going to wait for the man she loves. I've seen a woman wait 20 years. That's a special type of woman. But 3-4 years, women can usually kind of hang tight if they really love a guy, if he was good to her on the outside, or if he's good to her while he's on the inside. But here's the issue. Is how you conduct yourself as a man, whether you're on the outside or on the inside with a female, that kind of dictates that ending. I've seen guys who have tried to juggle 2 women, 3 women, 4 women while they're on the inside. You can't do that because you forget while you're incarcerated social media accounts. You forget that women are kind of vindictive. When they find out that you've been cheating on them, well, they're not just going to hold that in. I was incarcerated with a guy who was, I guess you would consider him a pretty boy. Always had the fresh Timbs, always had the fresh blues, always had the fresh fade with the waves and all the things. And even the guards, the female guards would giving this dude motion, man. You know what I mean? Like, they give him rhythm. And, you know, some guys hate on that. I'm not a hater. Never been a hater. Good for you, man. Get whatever you can get off of them if they're willing to give it to you, right? That being said, the problem this dude had was that he kind of had a thing for the boys, too. So he's in the pod, and a new boy would show up. When I say boy, I'm talking about a homosexual. I'm talking about a transgender inmate. Now, I'm not making this video to talk crap or anything on those individuals. That's their right to be that way. What I'm talking about is when you are literally with a man an hour before you go to visitation, and you go from kissing on this man, oh yes, kissing on this man, to going over to the visitation room, and your beautiful wife and kids come to visit you, and you kiss on her. Some dudes get to feel some type of way about that. Some dudes a lot of dudes, I've felt some type of way about that. But I'm going to tell you who else feels some type of way about that, is the guards. Excuse me. I apologize for the loud interruption. The train just ran by, and I guess that's the street sweep. I don't know what the hell that was, but I do apologize, guys. I'll try to edit it out in the editing, or not. But these guards are making minimum wages, and they see inmates who have these beautiful wives, and these guys can't even get a date on Friday night. So what do you think a true hater in true hater fashion is going to do? I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. He's going to wait until that girl, that beautiful woman, comes to visit you. She goes through the metal detectors, and he's gonna drop a little science on her. He's gonna say, "Listen, you're here to visit such and such, huh? Well, let me tell you about him. So whatever you do on the inside will get dropped eventually if you have real haters. It's just like when people are bringing in the sack, and somebody's hating on you about that. If you're bringing in the sack and somebody wants a piece of that pie, they're going to do whatever it takes to get that. People are vicious, man. People are petty by nature. So this is no different, man. I remember going over to the visitation. I had somebody that was coming to see me on a regular basis. And I knew this dude was up to his antics. I knew this dude was in there with the boy. I knew this dude was doing his thing in the pod. And he'd come over there and he'd kiss on his wife and kids. That ain't my business. That's not my lane. Ain't got shit to do with me. So I stay out of shit like that. But not everybody shares my my level of moral fiber, I guess. That being said, visitations come on the weekends, right? Saturday and Sunday, you stand there, you get yourself ready, you get your little haircut, you get shaved up, you get looking nice, and you stand there looking like a damn meerkat every time the bell rings to get an announcement. You pop up and boom, boom, right? So this guy just knows this girl's coming. He's talking smack. He's getting $100 to $200 a week from this girl. He's taking $200 a week from this girl's pockets while he's got kids at home, so struggling. But God forbid he doesn't have his wave gel and his honey buns to eat. People get greedy, man. They begin to expect instead of respect what you do for them. He's in the cell moments before they call him to this visit. The boy is behind him, shaving his neck. The boy is gonna play along because the boy's eating too. He's feeding the boy, right? And we all kind of laugh at it, man. We think it's funny, dude. We think that it's a trip how this dude has got all these things. But I know one thing about the universe, man. The universe has a funny way of correcting itself. This is no different because they call this guy. He goes over to the visit. I come in about 15 minutes after him. So when you go to a visitation, you're going to go through a process of getting strip searched. Back in the day, you go through a process of getting strip searched, and you're going to get your blues back on. And sometimes after the jumpsuit stuff, you were having to put your jumpsuit on backwards, so you couldn't sneak stuff in. So they thought. We figured that out too. So he had already been there. He'd already been searched, but he hasn't quite been in the visitation yet. One thing about Department of Corrections is that it's definitely a slow process. Everything is a process. Hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. So he's standing there, cocky as ever. And we shuffle into the visitation room. We all sit down, and you don't have your visit. Sometimes your visitors are sitting there, sometimes they're not. In this particular situation, we were all sitting in there, and they shuttle in the visitors. She walks in. She's got their son, one of their kids, with her, and I could see on her face she wasn't happy. So I tell my visitor, I said, "Hey, man, we might see some fireworks up in here today." Everybody in the visitation had seen it, and it was like, does she know? So we're sitting there, and she just says to him, "You are so nasty." He said, "What you mean? What you mean I'm nasty?" She goes on to tell him that she's been informed that he is carrying on a homosexual relationship inside of the prison. That she knows about it. He denies it to the tip, right? Of course he denies it. She gets up and storms out of the visitation, leaving him sitting there looking real stupid. We are all having a big laugh. We're talking smack to this dude as he's being walked out of the visitation. Like, damn, bro. Damn. Right? And my visit ends, you know, and I'm like, look. As he's walking out, man, he's doing that walk of shame. And I'm saying, look. Oh, man. Like sands of the hourglass, so are the days of our lives, guys, right? Well, so about a month goes by. This guy's trying to get on the phone with his old lady. She's not answering. The first week, she doesn't answer. She starts to answer after a while, and you know, we all pretty much figured they were going to work it out. But here's the issue, too, is this, and now it's not going to be very funny. She stopped sending him money. So, in my opinion, it wasn't so much that she left him. It was the fact that he was not going to be able to live the lifestyle that he's been living for however many years he had been down, because the bank was closed. So not only did she leave him, the boy left him. The boy left him and moved into another guy's cell in the same pod. So now this guy is kissing all over the boy, feeding the honey buns to the boy, giving all the boy all the things. So he's left with no girl, nothing, no money, and no boy. Seems like no boy is what made him the maddest. Kind of sick to me. And I say kind of sick because I look at it like this. If you're an individual who's going around from dude to dude, probably got something. These are not the cleanest individuals in the world, man. They're not passing out condoms in this place. It's rough, bro. Dude's attitude around the institution started to change. Started being a little more quick to jump off the roof, quick to be more violent, quick to say and do things that he probably shouldn't say. Backtrack a little bit. One thing about us in prison, we've learned how to make weapons that can get past metal detectors. We've learned how to get things past the guards. It doesn't have to be a big knife to kill somebody, and it doesn't have to be a big knife to hurt somebody. It doesn't have to be a knife. You can have a poker. You don't need a bone crusher. That being said, about a month, like I said, month and a half goes by. We're getting ready to visit. They call his name. Stands up, but this time there's no window mirror action. He throws on his state blues. He throws on his state shoes because he had to sell his Timberlands and his Levi's. Ain't no more money. Sold everything he had. Selling shots of coffee, trying to make ends meet. Chasing that boy around. Still chasing that boy around. Addicted to the boy. I shoot over there. I've been over there for 20 to 30 minutes, man. He comes over. At this point, at this visitation, the visitors were already there. So when I sat down, my visitor was there. We embraced, whatever, how you doing, blah, 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 blah. I see his wife sitting over there. I know who she is. I've seen her multiple times. She has a very sad look on her face. Unbeknownst to us, she had sent him divorce papers, and he had not signed them. She was only there to try to convince him to sign these divorce papers. Wanted to move on with her life. Wanted to get a better thing going for herself. She couldn't do that because this divorce was in the way. Well, they ushered the last group in. He sits down, and they're arguing back and forth quietly. You don't want everybody to know your business, but they're arguing back and forth. It's getting louder. And it happened so fast that I wish I had caught it sooner, because I might have actually tried to help the situation. I don't get my nose in a lot of like relationship stuff, but this was something this was crazy. All of a sudden, you see him reach over, and I thought he smacked her. This is not the first time people have gotten hit in the visitation room in prison, guys. Come on, this happens all the time. But when he hit her across the face, it sliced her. And I knew immediately he had either tomahawked her or just had a blade on him somewhere. Hit her again before the guards even realized what's happening. He probably hit her a good 4 or 5 times before they jumped on him. Which seems like a lot, but if you think, wow, I mean, he's just going on her. Slicing her face all the way up. Deep cuts, lacerations that are not going to just heal. And when they do heal, they're going to be nasty. Scarred that woman's face up for life. For life. She is not as pretty as she used to be. Her face looks like, well, exactly what happened. It looks like someone took a razor blade and sliced her face open. Why, bro? What did she do? What did she do? You know, everybody felt some type of way about this. They drop everybody to the floor, including the visitors. Everybody has to get down on the floor. They come in, grooming squad, they pick him up. He goes to the hole. He's not coming back out on that compound. So anybody that's like, why did y'all handle it? If you do something like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going up levels. You're not coming back out on that yard. So I'd love to tell you this story had a tale of retribution from us who saw what happened, but it does not. He was shipped off to Wallens Ridge, which is the highest security prison in the state of Virginia. You're not going to slice up a civilian in Department of Corrections visitation room and just get away with it. You're not just going to do 2 weeks in the hole and come out. They're going to smoke your boots. And they lit his boots on fire for that game of street case and everything. Gave him 20 more years for it. 20 more years. Well, I guess they ain't got to worry about her no more. What's even crazier is dude was going home in a couple years. Dude was almost at the door. But you're chasing that damn boy around. And you got in your feelings because the boy left you. You couldn't afford the boy. That boy cost money. And she took that from you. Which she should have, bro. That woman did absolutely nothing wrong. You did. And if there's any moral to this story, it would be appreciate who and what you have in your life. Do not take that for granted, man. Because when you take that for granted and you lose it, it can cause a lot of emotions that you might not be used to. And you realize how much that person has done for you. So appreciate that. Don't take it for granted, man. And don't be in the prison chasing the boy. Let's stop doing that. Really, stop doing that, dude. Do better. When it comes to like the hard R in prison, it doesn't happen as much anymore. That was a thing of the past. Those stories I tell, most of those stories are from 20 years ago. It's a thing now, especially with young people. They think society has ingrained them to think that they're trans or they're supposed to be something they're not. That is not the case. You are exactly who and what you're supposed to be. Deal with it. Stop cutting off your extremities. It's weird. Much love to the Gladiator Gang. Salute to all the A1s from day one. And to that young lady, if you ever see this video and you put two and two together, man, I wish I would have been a ninja. Or maybe I wish that I had acted, but it just wasn't my business. Stay up, stay out. And as always, stay sucker free, baby.